On Insurance Digest, of course, I did tell you that we're going to be touching base with one insurance policy which is of great interest. So we're dissecting the essence of fire and allied perils insurance in Nigeria. And joining me right now on the phone, no, not on the phone rather, but in the studios, I have Adewale Adeneye. He's Executive Director, Technical Operations for that's Coronation Insurance PLC, and is right here in the studios with Adeneye. Good morning, and you're welcome to Traffic Radio.
Good morning.
And
thank you so much, and I'm happy to be here with you.
Great. It's your first time of being here, right?
That's the truth. This is my first time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so before we settle in on the subject of discourse this morning, let's gauge the assessment or perhaps the barometer of this program to dwell a bit on this advocacy campaign which has been on since July. So how would you describe it so far so good?
So far so good. The advocacy program has been very positive on the image of the insurance industry in Nigeria. I've been opportune to listen to previous programs that has to do with life insurance, that has to do with annuity and the rest. And the truth is that the purpose is to enlighten the public about products and about what insurance can do to assist their business, to assist themselves as well as possible. So far so good. The feedback has been very positive, and it has had positive impact on the insurance industry in Nigeria. All
right, you are an insurance practitioner of over 2 decades. Is that correct?
Very correct.
So how would you assess the consciousness of Nigerians as it relates to the practice of insurance?
So for the practice of insurance, the consciousness of Nigeria is still at average, and one of the reasons is why we have this advocacy program to bring all that consciousness up to the height, right? People still have a big drawback about the insurance, looking at insurance with another lens that is not good for our industry. And the purpose is that when we have this kind of advocacy program, one, it will enlighten the general public about the number of products that is being offered by an insurance company. It will let them know that insurance can do a lot for them in intervening in their economic activities and stability of their business as well. All right.
So in your own opinion, or perhaps in your thought, what do you think are the things that are hindering the growth of insurance in Nigeria?
So many things, but I would quickly touch on about 3 or 4 which are very, very, very critical. Number one is this apathy about what insurance product is all about. People really don't understand the type of products we offered, and that's why this enlightenment and advocacy is very critical for us, so that they can understand the number of products that they can buy in the insurance business, in the insurance industry, to protect themselves. Secondly, critically is that people need to understand even the policy document that is being given to them. Sometimes people assume that when I buy a fire policy, it covers fire from every source, or when I buy a motor policy, it covers motor from losses from all. But insurance has to do with terms and conditions, so people need to understand the kind of policy they bought. And thirdly, that I need to touch has to do with the disposable income. We know how bad the disposable income in Nigeria today, and there's so many competing needs, right, are competing for the wallet of every individual. So people need to, grow in terms of, disposable income, so that they can have income as well to buy insurance products. And the fourth item I will talk to on this program has to do with claims. People don't understand the claims process. They don't understand the claims process. They don't know what is required of them in terms of documentation. They don't know what is expected of them. And when a loss occurs, is the loss actually covered by the policy, or is not covered by the policy they bought as well? So these are real issues when it comes to the discussion about insurance.
Perhaps, so something is just coming to my mind right now. Maybe the compulsory insurances, they do not seem to be enough. If you look at it, maybe there are not many. Could that be a reason? When you go to a grocery store outside in Nigeria, maybe in the United States or somewhere, you find that all the products there's always one insurance policy that is inserted. If you're picking up this, you see insurance there. But in Nigeria, you do not find that. So maybe the compulsories are not they're not enough.
So today we have about 7 compulsory insurances in Nigeria, right? And abroad, it has to do with the consciousness and the willingness to buy insurance products. Okay. And that's actually where we are going in Nigeria, so that we can bring the consciousness to the doorstep of every individual and corporate organizations so that they can buy this product. Insurance is very, very critical to stabilize an economy, and that's why we are here.
Okay, now, so let's come to the main issue of focus, which is fire and allied perils insurance. Mr. Adeneye, just talk to us. What kind of insurance policy is this?
So for fire and allied perils, as the name indicates, it's actually meant to cover, to protect policy holders and insure an individual and corporate organizations from losses or damages that could have arose as a result of a fire, as a result of lightning, as a result of an explosion, right? And when you talk of fire, the allied peril is part of it. That's what we call peril to J. So there are other aspects of it that are covered. So recently we witnessed a lot of flood in all parts of Lagos, but all parts of Nigeria. This is one of those losses that we cover under the fire and allied perils, aside the fire itself. So issue of losses coming from the flood that we all witnessed recently in Lagos and all over Nigeria.
Right.
Issue that has to do with storm damage arising out of you see people's roof being blown off, and when those roofs are blown off as well, then you see fire. You see water and the rainwater that enter the building, that enter the premises, that damage a lot of properties. These are items, these are losses that could be covered under the fire and allied perils insurance.
So how many risks or perils are covered under this kind of policy? So
for the risk, we have that's what we call technically speaking insurance. We call it perils A to J.
A to J.
A to J, because perils A to J. So there are like about 10 risks that is covered under the fire and allied perils.
Wow.
You have the fire damage itself.
Okay.
You have losses as a sort of lightning as well, which could damage your electrical equipment at home.
Right.
You have as a result of an explosion, maybe your boiler, your water heater that you use at home. Then critically, right, that is very peculiar to our environment, has to do with storm damage that we experience during the rainy season.
Okay.
As a result of flood that is peculiar to Lagos and some part of Nigeria.
Right.
And then we have also resulting from malicious damage, intentional acts of others. So then again, I have to mention this. In 2020, we had the NSACs. Riot.
So the riots, right?
Yeah, so the allied perils under the fire policy, right, actually covered the activity of the rioters, the strikers, and the lockouts. So it's actually covered under the fire and allied
you mean
perils. Yeah, seriously. And let me just make this point, right? For the losses, we all witnessed the losses that occurred as a result of the 2020 NSAS claim, NSAS riot.
Right.
Insurance company in Nigeria paid over 11 billion
naira
to compensate individuals, corporate companies, and government paratata as a result of that riot.
Wow. Okay, so there's a whole lot of perils that are covered. That's what it means, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'd like you to just break it down for our listeners this morning. Give us some kind of probable scenarios that would justify the need for a fire and allied peril policy.
I don't need to go far. About 2 weeks ago, we all witnessed the flood that occurred in Lagos. We also saw the videos all over, from Lekki to Ikorodu to Ikeja, even in Ibadan.
Right.
Flood is one of the allied perils that is covered under a fire and special peril.
Even the one that happened in Niger, Mokwa to be precise.
It's actually covered.
So you're saying now that if they had all these people that had this kind of incident, if they had a fire and allied perils insurance, they would have been covered.
Their losses will have been covered. Again, every day we read the news, fire damage in Balogun Market, fire damage in Trade Fair, 7-8 shops, several millions are lost. These are losses that we cover under a fire and special perils insurance policy. And the customer don't need to dip your hand into your savings. Once you take an insurance policy, you paid your premium, the insurance policy will compensate you.
Wow.
Once they've confirmed that your losses are genuine and they can ascertain that these are the losses that occurred and these are the damages, insurance company will compensate you for the losses.
So all these losses that we're talking about could have been well covered or perhaps guaranteed if they have this kind of a policy.
Absolutely, that is correct.
So why are people not taking it?
So That's why we are here today.
Wow.
Advocacy. People need to be enlightened. People need to know the product that is available in the insurance industry, because there are so many types of risk and perils that people face every day.
Which is very true. And now that we're in the rainy season, those of you listening to me from Ikorodu, please now, I think you need to hurry up to the next insurance company nearby to go pick up a fire and allied insurance policy, so that if anytime your compound is flooded, or perhaps you have this kind of storm that blows away your roof, now you know you can be protected. But Mr. Adeneye, who can take up a fire and allied perils insurance policy?
So as long as everybody can take a fire and allied insurance policy, an individual can take it, right? For your private dwellings. If you are a corporate company, for your companies, you can take a fire and allied insurance policy. Then for the government, the ministry, the department, and the agencies can as well take a fire and allied insurance. So it's actually cut across all strata of the economy that you can take a fire and allied perils insurance policy.
All right. Is it a compulsory insurance policy?
So presently, it's not a compulsory insurance policy, all right? But it is a policy that looking at the risk that we face every day, that everybody should have.
So it's not compulsory, but it is necessary.
It is necessary, absolutely.
All right. So for those who are listening to us right now, they are just hearing of it for the first time. Talk to me. What are the benefits of them putting in place a fire and allied perils insurance?
Imagine your house was flooded, like I just said, and all the equipment in the house, all the gadgets in the house are damaged. Now, you need to restore those damaged equipment back to the status they are, because you need to enjoy your life again. A fire and allied insurance policy will definitely pay for that without you taking a dime from your savings. Now, again, in your home, we all have a water heater, we have a gas cooker at home. That could be an explosion that could have led to a fire damage. If the house is fully burnt or partially damaged as a result of fire incident that occurs every day, you don't need to go and take money from your savings or from the fund you are setting aside.
Even the money is not even there.
The money is not even there. Thank you very much. So insurance policy, having taken an insurance policy, you paid your premium, insurance company will come in, assess the losses that has occurred, and they will compensate you accordingly. So they will take you back to the position where you are prior to the occurrence of the loss. So you are fine.
Let me give you this scenario, Mr. Adeneye.
Yeah.
So my neighbor has a water tank on the top of his building, right? He puts on his pumping machine. Of course, NEPA takes away the light, and while everybody was away, PHA or perhaps the Keja Electric restores the light, and then the tank overflows into my compound, destroying most of my belongings. Let's assume my generator, destroying so many things. So, if he has a fire and allied perils insurance, to what kind of compensation would you guys be able to give him that will be able to take care of my damaged property?
Thank you. I mentioned that when you talk of the special perils and the risk under a fire and allied special policy, I said there's something we call technically as perils A to J, right? And escape of water from overhead tank, right? It's one of the perils that is covered under fire and allied perils insurance policy. So up to the value you put on those items that were damaged, insurance company will compensate you.
Okay.
But if it's actually flood inside your apartment as well, whatever is damaged inside your apartment as a result of the escape of that water from the overhead tank is covered by the fire and allied insurance policy.
Okay. Wow. So lots of benefits then.
Lot of benefits.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM this morning. We're dissecting the essence of fire and allied perils insurance, and taking us to the classroom. I have Mr. Adeneye here. He's, of course, the Executive Director of Technical Operations for Coronation Insurance PLC. We're going to take a short break right now. When we return, we find out it appears that fire has been inserted in almost every insurance policy. Why is that so? Adeneye will take us to the classroom on that.
Definitely.
Also, can I determine the type of perils that I want to cover in a fire and allied insurance policy? Plus, how is premium determined? These are questions that will still respond. And of course, you can also ask your own question as well. And that will be on 080-99-120-777. Or perhaps you can give us a voice call on 091-5387-7127. A brief break. We will be back.
car! Oh, see what you have done now! You have damaged my car!
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I hope you have a good motor insurance.
Yes, I have a third-party motor insurance that will take care of all the repairs.
In fact, the benefits of third-party motor insurance have increased. First, the limit to claims for damages to third-party vehicles has been increased. Secondly, when you get your third-party motor insurance, you automatically get an ECOWAS Brown card, which means your vehicle now has insurance cover across all West African countries. And if ever it is liable on Nigerian roads for damages to a vehicle from any West African country, the premium to be paid for third-party motor insurance for private car owners increased from 5,000 naira to 15,000 naira to enable insurers adequately bear the cost of repairs whenever the need arises. Buy your motor insurance. Please log on to www.niip.ng or visit any licensed insurance company today. This is a public enlightenment message from the Nigeria Insurers Association, NIA.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. All right, this is Insurance Digest. And of course, this morning we are talking all things that relates to fire and allied perils insurance. And I can tell you, it's been a very, very interesting discourse so far. My guest, Adewale Adeneye, of course, he's Executive Director, Technical Operations for Coronation Insurance PLC. Let's get back to the roads. Most of the areas are still looking pretty good. If you're coming in on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, it's still looking pretty good as well. Heading towards the Third Milan Bridge, not bad at all at the moment. Those of you coming in from the Gbagada end, that's Anthony connecting Gbagada up to Yanowuru. It's also looking pretty good. And then we can tell you, those of you on the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, not bad at all. Still tracking that impediment on the Iko Bridge inwards CMS. What's the latest by with it as well? Please keep us posted, control room. And of course, the one around the Lagos-Badagry Expressway is also being monitored as well. All right, Adeneye, let's get back to this. So, it appears fire has been inserted into almost every insurance policy these days. Why is that so? Is that a deliberate attempt?
So, for all types of insurance products, what is important is that you need to understand the risk exposure that those products or those policies is going to compensate for. And that's what determines if this item will be covered here or not covered here. So you will see a part of fire in a marine insurance policy that has to do with marine cargo, where you do your importation. You know, there could have been an exposure on the vessels when they are bringing those items, those cargoes to Nigeria. So you see an element of fire there. A contractor or risk insurance policy as well has to do with construction and erection of policies, the way you are testing all those items. There could be an explosion that could lead to fire. So you have it there. But aside that, right, you have a standard fire insurance policy that's called fire and allied perils policy.
Okay.
But absolutely, what normally happens, why you see a bit of fire here or fire here, has to do with risk exposure, right, and the type of policy to compensate for those risks. But aside this, right, there's a standard fire and allied special perils insurance policy.
All right, then let's see if we can expand the discourse beyond the studio. 09153877127. That's 09153877127. Let's hear from you this morning. If you have any questions for my guests, feel free to connect with us. You can also send in your WhatsApp messages, and that's on 08099120777. So, you mentioned several perils that can be covered earlier on, Mr. Adewale. So, can I determine the kind of perils that I want to cover?
So, for a standard fire policy, the perils are already mentioned there. They're already stated. So they are stated perils.
Okay.
All right. So they are there for you. So it's not that you want to
say, I want to cover this one. I don't want to cover this.
The advantage you have, right, is that you can now have an extension on other risk that you want the policy to cover for you.
Okay. Yes. Like which other risk as well?
So you can have a removal of debris. So if there is a fire damage to your building, right, now you need to for insurance, it covers unforeseen circumstances, unexpected events. So you are doing a construction or you will have your building and there was a fire damage which affects a part of the building. Bear in mind that the integrity of that building, right, is at stake now. It's no longer standing very. So you need to demolish and rebuilt that aspect.
Are they going to help me to demolish as well?
So that's what I'm saying. There's an extension called removal of debris. So the cost of demolition of removing the debris is covered under the aspect of the extension.
Wow.
Under the fire aspect of policy.
All right. So a message here says that Mr. Adewale, does fire insurance also cover injuries or just properties? Jason is sending this one in. Jason, thank you.
It covers properties.
Okay, not injuries.
Not injuries.
Okay. All right then. So how is premium determined under this kind of policy?
So for fire special perils, what matters for us to determine your premium is one, with the what is the total value? We call it sum insured actually in insurance, but what is the total value of the asset of the item you want to insure, right? Then we now look at what type of occupation do you engage in. Are you in any manufacturing? Are you FMCG? Are you in the financial sector? Because there's something we call underwriting consideration, because the exposure, your risk exposure, is also a factor in determining your premium. So when we have your sum insured, we consider our underwriting consideration. We look at your occupation. What do you do? Because when you look at a mining company compared to an FMCG, the risk exposure is actually different.
Okay.
Right. So we consider all this, and we now apply a rate. We call it a rate in determining what your premium will be. And for ease of this discussion, you've mentioned compulsory insurance today. Okay. So let me give you an example. For motor insurance, comprehensive motor insurance, is a compulsory insurance. Right. The rate is 5%. Okay. But for a fire and special perils, you can pay as low, right, as 0.25%.
You mean it?
Absolutely.
Wow. So it's that low.
It's that low, and people just need to understand the benefit that could accrue to them when they take up a fire and allied special perils.
Lots of benefits indeed, because from what you said right now, there's a whole lot that's really born into that. 09153877127. This one says, "Hello, Traffic Radio. Do you provide cover for rural areas or just big cities alone?" You didn't put your name, by the way, but this question is funny to me. So
our covers is for every area. Today in Nigeria, we talk about financial inclusion, which means the rural area, we need to bring them to the net as well. So our cover goes beyond urban areas, right? It goes to semi-urban areas, and we also cover risk and perils coming from the rural areas as well.
Okay, so it's not just in the urban centers alone.
Absolutely.
All right, then, so a flash update coming in from the control room says breakdown of a high capacity Primero Blue bus with mechanical problem. This is around mile 12. It has occupied about 50% of the road while ascending mile 12 bridge inwards Koshofe. All right, I understand the driver has contacted the office for evacuation. Backlog now at Owodelede inwards Koshofe. All right, officers on ground doing the needful within that particular corridor. All right, so those of you within the mile 12 end, and that's what is responsible. If you are facing some kind of slowness there, take note of that. Is a broken down Primero bus ascending the mile 12 bridge. That is what is responsible. 08099120777 09153877127 is the numbers that you can connect with us. Here with me, Adewale Adeneye of Coronation Insurance PLC. All right, so you just spoken about how premium is determined under this kind of policy. What about claims? How is claims processed under this policy?
It's very straightforward. Once there is a claim, right, we expect our insured, our policy holder, to notify us immediately. When we are notified, depending on the magnitude of the loss, we may need to appoint a loss adjuster, which is a professional expert as well, to examine the extent of the loss, to investigate the loss as well, to look at the damages, and be able to come to a conclusion on how much is due to be paid to the customer. That is one. Okay. Secondly, when a loss occurred as well, if it's not of high magnitude, of high severity, when you contact your insurance company, we have a dedicated claims team, both online and offline, right, that attend the customer within 24 hours. They'll send you your claims forms. They will send you all the required documents, right, that you are meant to submit to substantiate your claim.
All right. A message just popped in on that. This one says, "Good morning, Mr. Victor and Mr. Adewale. how quickly does a claim get processed? Hakim Adisa is sending that one in. So you were talking about that, right?
Yes. So claim settlement, right, has to do with the cooperation from the insured most times. So it can go from 48 hours to 5 days to 10 days to 15 days, right? Because what happens most times, right, is that when we ask customers or insured that have sustained a loss, we need this document to substantiate, so maybe police report, we need in terms of stock, we need your stock record, in terms of asset, we need your receipt and things like this. Once you are able, right, to substantiate your claim with all necessary documents and they are assessed, right, within 48 hours, 72 hours, insurance company will settle your claim.
Between 48 to 72 hours?
72 hours. But the lag we've experienced so far is customers substantiating their claims. And so what we have done over time is to even assist customers now. Is substantiate the documents we need. These are the things. So once you submit a claims to us, we'll send to you all our requirements.
All right.
We need you to give us all the requirements so that we can quickly end the claim. Because the purpose of insurance, all what we are saying, either we talk about premium, we talk about insurance, is for you to put smiles
on the faces
on
of
the
people.
face of people.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's look at some concepts now within the particular policy that we're referring to. Is there anything like malicious damage under this policy?
Absolutely.
Talk to me.
Absolutely. So under the allied perils that you mentioned, that's what they call malicious damage. And the interesting thing about malicious damage, it has even been extended now, so it has another name now.
Okay, what's it called?
It's called vandalism and malicious mischief insurance. Do you hear that? Vandalism.
Let's take this call first of all. Hello there, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Victor.
Yeah, good morning.
Comrade Daniel.
Hey, Comrade Daniel, very regular on the program. How are you doing, Comrade Daniel?
I'm good, and you?
Very good too. So talk to me.
Okay, good morning, sir.
It's greeting you.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Comrade Daniel.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah. Yes, it's just a wonderful and topical issues on one of the insurance products.
All right.
Today we see that flood is ravaging some part of the world, and Nigeria is not excluded with this current climate change.
All right.
All right.
I think there's a need for builders, owners of properties to take up fire insurance and other special perils. My question to Mr. Adewale this morning is that accident and accident is it covered under this kind of insurance?
Oh, very good question.
Maybe riots and other kind of wars, emergencies.
Okay.
Covered under this policy.
All right. Thank you so much, Comrade Daniel.
Thanks, Comrade Daniel, for that question.
All right. Arson? Is arson covered?
So arson is not covered because it's an intentional act of the owner of the property. You can't intentionally damage your items, right? And you want insurance to cover for it.
So that cannot be covered.
That cannot be covered.
So if you intentionally set up your property on fire, so that will not be covered.
Absolutely. I even have I've experienced a couple of instances like that.
But is there a way for you guys to determine that?
So that's when we have an investigator. So we don't work alone. We have professional like investigators. We have loss adjusters that investigate the claim. They want to know the source and what led to that losses. So they are the one that will determine this for us. So we have that as well.
All right. So malicious damage, you were trying to explain that before the call came in.
So malicious damage, I just mentioned another name for malicious damage is vandalism and malicious mischief. Put it in approach, Sophie. Mischief insurance, and it actually protects the insured itself, the policy holder, right, from losses as a result of intentional acts. That's why I call it mischief. Intentional act of others. So others could destroy your property. They could destroy your assets, right? They could destroy your building. If those instances happened, right, it is covered under the allied perils of the fire and allied perils insurance policy.
Okay. Yes. All right. So let's begin to round all of this up now, because you've given us a whole lot of enlightenment this morning. You said it, once those kind of floods, or those of you that live in flood-prone areas, they should be having insurance, the fire and allied insurance policy.
Yes, storm damage as well, which always occasion as a result of a flood. I mean, the rainfall that we have now. Yeah, it's covered under the fire and allied perils.
All right. So those of you in Ikorodu, Lekki, Lekki people should be having a fire and allied insurance policy.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
All right. So those of you within those flood areas, please endeavor to pick up one, and there will be no more cries at the end of it all. All right. So what's your message? What's your parting thought to our listener this morning as we round up the program?
So for all listeners, I always say this thing, right? Try and understand the various risks you as an individual is facing, as a company you are facing, and get an insurance company in Nigeria. We have over 50 insurance companies in Nigeria today. Take your risks there. Take your perceived risk there as well, because some risks are evident and obvious. Some risks are perceived.
Okay.
Take it to an insurance company and you will meet with experts that can analyze your risk for you. They will be able to determine the appropriate policy, appropriate products that could compensate for those losses. And at the end of the day, they will have done you a great deal, right, of protecting you, protecting your assets, and protecting your profit as well at the end of the day. And that's the purpose of insurance, to bring stability to the economy.
All right, then we'll leave it at that for now. Mr. Adewale Adeneye, it's a thing of joy having you in the studios. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
It's a great joy to be at your studio this morning as well.
Okay,
and I enjoy the moment I have here.
Okay, good.
Thanks so much.
All right, so you heard it. Please endeavor to go pick up a fire and allied insurance policy. There's a whole lot of perils that are covered, like flood, like storm, and so many others. So endeavor to pick up one from the nearest insurance company that you have. So this morning, we've been able to dissect the essence of fire and allied perils insurance in Nigeria, and taking us to the classroom is Mr. Adewale Adeneye, Executive Director, Technical Operations for Coronation Insurance PLC. If you want to get in touch with the Nigerian Insurers Association, you can always call them up. That's on 081-7078-4444, 081-7078-4444, or 080-299-08531. We have to go. The program has been produced by Mike James, and I say a big thank you to Joke Adeyemi, who's head corporate communications for Nigeria Insurance Association. Maximum shout out going out to Sojuni, controller technical for NIA, and of course to all others working at the background as well. Okpayemi Shodunke and Remi Aloko, both of them, they are for our social media unit, and our executive producer is Tayo Akonle. My name is Victor Oteri. Have a splendid day. Bye.